I have absolutely no clue what you're talking about.
Because I remember when I was lip syncing, you two were going off for Nina only, and I was hearing it.
Things are getting hot in the Drag Race workroom this week, and I'm not just talking about these firefighters. I'm in a rumor with PopCulture.
And I'm Nick Valdez from Comic
And this is PopCulture's Social Call, where we offer up our unfiltered opinions about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. We're getting into these family resemblances with the Makeover challenge this week. Right off the bat, let's get into the drama in the workroom, because these queens are heated over alliances or a lack of alliances. What is going on?
Someone or someones in the 8 of us has said that and put that into your head.
I love that they're fighting over nothing. This is nothing.
Yeah. 𝐿𝐴𝐿 thinks that 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴 and Chanel are working together because they cheered for Nina during the lip sync. But that felt like a pity cheer to me, so I don't know what everyone's all hyped up about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. They say they're cliquey too, but then also it's like, oh, so you can't be friends?
There's 8 people here. You have to talk to someone. I don't know. This was a very odd kind of like workplace drama. Do you feel like it feels authentic, or do you think they're just kind of trying to stir stuff up?
I don't know. Maybe they're just bored, right? Like maybe it just seems, maybe because they're there in the space, it just seems like it's a bigger deal. But to us watching at home, it's like, well, no one's going home anyway. So what does it matter if 2 people are like friends with each other, maybe working together?
Exactly. And honestly, they might just be poking at Chanel, so we get another iconic freak out from her. And not to sound unethical, but I support that.
It's meaningless anyway, because we find out who gets the 2 beautiful benefactress badges from Nina and 𝐿𝐴𝐿. And Nina gives it to Roxy, which sort of makes sense because, you know, Roxy helped her, but also it's Roxy Andrews, so she's probably going to get plenty, as we see.
Yeah.
And 𝐿𝐴𝐿 gives hers to her friend 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴 anyway. So it's like, oh, if they thought they were in an alliance, who cares?
You weren't doing anything with that information anyways.
Daddy alert! I didn't know it was my birthday.
And it especially didn't matter whenever we pair up for the Makeover challenge this week, because these pairings just felt like very obvious and prescribed. And we're making over these very hot firefighters, if I do say so myself. So I think everyone was distracted away from the alliances in the first place. Do you want to talk about these makeovers, Nick? Just go through, talk about their family resemblance and their performance to this original song and see where we go from there?
Oh, absolutely. Let's start with Roxy and Angie, the Hoses. Great name, first of all.
Yes. Very good. And Valerie Valentine is another pretty good, like, classic drag name.
Absolutely. I love their look. Roxy made all 3 of them, which is, once again, it's Roxy Andrews, so she's going to do just fine.
Yeah, give her a sewing challenge and she'll show you what you like. But what did you think about Valerie? Because I agree, like, the face was great, the wig, the outfit, great. Valerie looked very uncomfortable. And again, these are people who it's their first time in drag. So not knocking the firefighter, but just say, like, the performance wasn't there for me. Valerie just looked like she was like kind of stooped over and uncomfortable and like really trudging through with those heels.
Yeah, that's kind of on Roxy and Vanjie. Like, it's on them to make Valerie feel as comfortable as possible. To make this drag performance, to make your first time feel very, you know, just full and authentic. And while Valerie was trying her best, it was clear that she was kind of like thinking a mile a minute, and maybe she wasn't all the way in it. And that's unfortunate. She should be having fun out there.
Do you know who was having fun out there? Our new favorite drag queen, Angelique from Meow Meow Mix, which was Plastique and Gorgeous. I swear to God, I'm like, are you sure this is the first time you've done drag? She looked beautiful. I called it early on. I was like, that looks like Megan Thee Stallion. And then they said it during the judges and I was like, vindicated. But she looked so good. They were doing this like Powerpuff Girls kind of thing with their names written across their tops. So like a real girl group. I love this performance.
Oh, it was so cool. It was very 2000s. It was very just modern and fresh. And the name thing was so cool. Plastique with the Plastique name just as the top. Incredible. I think the only thing was that George's didn't have any fur anywhere because the other two had fur. But even then, that's still like Michelle was saying, they didn't resemble one another. The resemblance wasn't there. But what are you talking about?
Also, we're making a girl group. Since when do we have to be related? For the makeover challenge this season, I thought we're making a girl group, not all triplets. I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. Angelique was dropping it low and really turning it. I'm upset. They were robbed. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But how dare they? Let's talk about Angeria and Chanel, our secret alliance, known as the Pussycat Hoes, featuring Natasha Bradley. Great name. I hated all these outfits, and they were kind of dorky dancing, but it was okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think?
it was very old school. It was they didn't look as like a girl group, and more they were just three girls performing on the same night, and they kind of all came together for a final number to get the and with Natasha Bradley though, that was a great transformation. Natasha Bradley, you got a super tall person. And so the key is going even bigger. And so Natasha Bradley felt like a very old school pageant queen type, right? And so it all worked there. I did like their performance. It was just, when you talk about resemblance, right? You look at them and you're like, okay, nothing there.
It's giving Thursday night drag show finale number. I agree with you.
Yes.
and no shade intended, obviously. Let's move on to Nina and 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿, who were paired together as the Hose Draggers, featuring Anita Blaze. I thought that they were a really close runner-up to Meow Meow Mix.
Yeah, Anita Blaze, I'm glad they went forward with the muscles because, of course, we all love great muscles. We love people who love themselves.
Except for the judges. Last season.
Last season they were on morphine for letting Latina show off her muscles, but then Anita here is doing the same, and it's getting compliments, and so it's well, I don't get it. Stay consistent, please.
It just happened. This exact situation just happened, and they were like, no. And this season, they're like, yes, we celebrate all bodies. It's I agree, but since when,
Yeah.
But they look great. I thought they did a good job of mixing kind of Nina's 60s hairspray style and 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 black wig kind of aesthetic. I thought they looked cool, and I thought that they had a really good performance. I really liked their verse.
Yeah, I agree. Their verse is probably the best. Their performance is probably the best overall. And Nina, this is my favorite Nina look. So who would have guessed that all you need for Nina is a black wig? Everything will work out,
Yeah, just a nice fitted gown. Yeah, who would have thought? But it's so funny though, because it's not funny because this is how the makeover challenge works every season, I feel like. But the two teams that we've talked about glowingly are not the winners. We have Roxy and Vanjie win with their queen who looked really uncomfortable the entire, again, not shading the firefighter, but this is not the winner of the challenge. Meow Meow Mix was clearly robbed. If it was 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 and Nina, I would have been okay with that. But this is such a clear not the winner.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't understand what they were looking for in this. I guess they wanted nothing but resemblance. That's really the only thing that makes sense here.
I guess. I don't know. Justice for Angelique.
I've never lost a lip sync, and I ain't trying to be a loser doll this week, okay?
We have this top two lip sync between Roxy and Vanjie to Black Cat, Janet Jackson, and they both kind of do their thing. Neither of them wowed me, but neither of them were bad. And then the judges declare it a tie, and they both get a badge. And I'm like, what are we doing here? This is so silly.
Yeah, I had the same feeling. It's what was this episode? Roxy and Vanjie went from 0 to 2 stars in the same episode. And then they got $5,000 at the end of it. Because the tie to me did make sense because neither one of them was super great or super bad. They didn't really highlight or outshine the other one, but at the end of this episode, it just suddenly feels like, what is going on? What are we doing?
Yeah, no one's going home anyways, so why must we, Shantae, you both continue to stay? And then they just both kind of agree to snip Angeria together, and she looks livid. Maybe that will play out next episode. This episode was a weird one for me, and I liked watching the makeovers, but I was like, okay, I don't know what we're doing here. And speaking of what we're doing, next week we're having dragged up real estate commercials, which could be really funny or could be another kind of moment. So we will definitely be recapping all of that, whatever it turns out to be. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any episode, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.